a lot of collaboration from all of us as stakeholders, because whatever profession you are in, somehow you share information. And then there should be some level of accuracy, credibility in the information that each and every one of us shares with a different audience that we interact with. So for me, I usually find it that our trainings are very important for anyone. So sometimes when we do the selection, I don't really care if you're a journalist, but what is very important is you are someone who is interested and you know that you have a role to play in improving the quality of information that is being shared. So once again, we thank you so much for taking the time to register for the session, and we look forward to the conversations that are going to happen here shortly. So like I said, we already done with the first part, which is the introduction. Now I will give you a brief overview of 211 Check as a platform that is organizing this, and then after that we will then move forward. Yep, so let me share my screen and talk about 211 Check. So I hope you guys can see my screen. Just put a thumbs up if you can see my screen. Put a thumbs up. Okay, great. Yeah, so this is 211 Check. 211 Check is a fact-checking and information verification platform in South Sudan run by DeFi Now, which is a national non-governmental organization. And 211 Check was founded in March 2020, and DeFi Now as an organization itself was founded in 2019. So, like I said, 211 Check works to combat misinformation and disinformation in South Sudan, and it was first established to counter COVID-19 dis and misinformation. And of course, we are being run by DeFi Now, which is a national non-governmental organization. And the organization itself works broadly on creating frameworks for enhancing trust between stakeholders in Africa through mobilizing civic action against all forms of hate speech, misinformation, human rights violations, and incitement to violence. So what is the mission statement of 211 Check? So ideally, 211 Check aims to further public discourse and counter false information through fact-checking and verifying. And then our vision, our long-term goal is to create a South Sudan where accurate, reliable information is easily accessible and widely shared. And this empowers individuals to make informed decisions and contribute to a more informed and engaged society. So what are the thematic areas of 211 Check? Broadly, 211 Check uses technology in the battle against dis and misinformation in South Sudan and beyond, and we tackle three main problems related to fact-checking faced by countries in the African continent as they work on tackling the spread of fake news. These three problems are classified into three thematic areas. One of it is awareness. Awareness in terms of basic information. We give citizens the correct information they need through media information literacy. That is why when you go to our social media platforms, you will see a lot of media information literacy campaigns. You see us sharing, please verify this. We share this small information to help our audience differentiate between true and false information. And another problem is misinformation and disinformation. So we do this by correcting and fact-checking wrong and misleading information that, if left unchecked, might make citizens make decisions that will endanger them. That is why when you go to our website, you will see things called explainers, you will see data stories, you will see fact checks. So these ones are aimed at correcting and fact-checking misleading information. And another problem is we look at prevention. So we do this by providing clear recommendations on citizens' actions to provide or mitigate the risk of misinformation and hate speech. That is why we write what we call social media reports. So in the social media report, we look at the health of the information landscape, and then we provide recommendations stakeholders. So what are our objectives? So basically our objectives as 211 Check, is one, to counter misinformation, disinformation, and hate speech. We do this through the ways I mentioned earlier. And then we also provide a platform for South Sudanese fact checkers to publish articles or reports on various thematic issues within South Sudan. Yeah. So our fact check platform is very open. If you are somebody who is a publisher, you write fact checks, and you would want us to help, then we can help publish your work on our website. And then we also offer editorial support and training on fact checking to South Sudanese journalists, bloggers, and content creators. That is why earlier on in the introduction, you heard from 2 or 3 participants who said that they are part of our training programs. So that is how we support content creators in this country, by offering training to them. And then we also enhance the quality and health of online information. So sometimes we call out people when they spread misinformation. So this sort of to help enhance the quality of the information that they share. So what do we do? What work do we really do? So we do 4 main things. One of the things is we do media monitoring and research. So we identify instances of hate speech and misinformation by analyzing social media data. We track the spread of hate speech and misinformation, monitor its impact on different communities, and write reports. Training and fellowships. We equip trainees with knowledge and skills used by professional fact checkers, which will enrich their work in multiple fields. So in our training and fellowships, trainees learn new skills and sources to check information, to determine its accuracy, and promote the veracity of the information in the public domain. Another thing that we do is we do media information literacy. We do this by visually communicating essential and relevant information and messages related to fact-checking and combating mis and disinformation, and promoting media literacy and critical thinking in an eye-catching manner. Another thing is we do community outreach. So from time to time, we do radio talk shows, we do webinars, we do radio dramas, and we also do in-person neighborhood roundtable discussions. Sometimes we go to, in Juba, we call them healers. So we go to the healers, we talk to the chiefs bring their community members, we talk to them about some of the things that have been going on, the rumors that are being spread, and then we give them some tips, and that is our contribution as what we can do within our capacity as 211 Check. So what are our products? So far we have the 211 Check website. You can visit our website by going to 211check.org. So in the website, you will find blog articles that assess the accuracy of claims and information and provide transparent and evidence-based evaluation to the public. We also publish data stories, explainers, and social media health reports. Another product of ours is what we call the 211 Check document repository. So the document repository stores and organizes documents, allowing easy access and retrieval for research, reference, and educational purposes. So our document repository, you can go to dr.211check.org. And then we have an active WhatsApp and Telegram community where we discuss issues, we share documents, and then we also sort of share a lot of opportunities in that particular community and build networks that are very, very important to all of us. So when you look at our editorial structure is more like a newsroom structure. So we have our team leader who serves as the editor, we have a managing editor, we have an associate editor, we have fact checkers, we have data analysts, we have media monitors, and then we have graphic designer. So our team has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 people make up our entire editorial structure. But of course, like the fact checkers, we can have more than one. The media monitors, we could have more than one. But at the moment, we have the team leader, the chief editor, we have the managing editor, we have the assistant editor, we have the fact checker, we have a media monitor, and then we have a graphic designer. So we have the data analyst who works on it. We get data analysts on freelance basis, based on if we have work that needs data analysis. But our active team is made up of 6 people right now. So how do we work? So our work is mainly based on gathering claims, We get these claims through our tip lines, through media monitoring, through rumor tracking. And then we research by interviews, internet investigation, and then we do copy editing, and then we do graphics designs, and then we publish this work on our website. So whom have we worked with in the past? So in the past, we have worked with the UNDP in South Sudan for what was called the Africa Fact-Checking Fellowship and some physical trainings in some locations like Yei, Wow, and then Juba. And then we work with Midan. So the Midan project worked to help address health misinformation in 2021. Last year, we worked with the Collaboration for International ICT Policy in East and Southern Africa, and they supported a fact-checking empowerment project in which we had what we call a fact-checking and digital rights fellowship. And then we also work with the European Union delegation to South Sudan, and it is supported the development of 211 Checks document repository in 2021. And then we worked with Internews in South Sudan on the Rooted in Trust project, which addressed COVID-19 and health rumors in 2021 and 2022. So our present partners, we work with Meta. Meta has what we call a trusted partner program. So this helps sort of identify instances of hate speech on social media. And then we also work with Code for Africa and PesaCheck in a project from 2022 through 2023 to support our editorial check desk. And then Africa Check helps us through the Africa Facts Network. And then at the moment, we work with IREX under what we call the Sustainable Independent Media Activity, in which we train journalists on fact-checking and elections reporting. And then we also are supported by the International Fact-Checking Network, and this training is part of our work that is supported by the International Fact-Checking Network. So in our statistics, when you look at our statistics, you will realize that we have had 5 fellowships since the start of 211 Check. We had what we call the Africa Fact-Checking Fellowship. We had 2 cohorts, and then we had the Midan Fellowship. We had the CPESA Fellowship last year, and yeah, and then in total we had over 28 fellows who have benefited from our fellowship program. And then we had in-person trainings in locations like Juba, Yei, Torit, Kapoita, Yambio, Wow, and today we're having a training in Lem, and we have trained over 1,000 people physically. And then our online programs, we have over 500 attendees of our online webinars and training programs. And most of our programs are live streamed on YouTube as ways of seeing that our audience can be able to revisit them anytime they want. So we have over 3,000 YouTube views, and then we have over 300 articles published on the 211 Check website with over 1,000 weekly views, which is not bad for a platform like ours. And then we have over 300 documents that are uploaded to the document repository. This includes legislations in South Sudan, different press releases, and different circulars and repositories. So we have over 8,000 followers on our social media platforms. When we combine our followers on Facebook, on Twitter, now X, on our emailing list, on Telegram and stuff like that. So we have over this number of followers. So if you want to get information about our work, you can visit our website, www.211check.org, and then you can visit our document repository at dr.211check.org. If you want to send us an email, you can write to us at info@211check.org. If you want to write to us on WhatsApp, you can send us a WhatsApp message at 917-298-255. Our office address, Nimule Street, Malakal, east of James Hotel, of course, in Juba. Yep. Social media, on Twitter, we are at 211 Check. On Facebook, we are 211 Check. On Instagram, we are 211 Check. On Telegram, we are 211 Check. On YouTube, we are 211 Check. On TikTok, we are 211 Check. Yep. So these are some photos from some of our work, some of our physical trainings. And of course, if you have any questions, you can ask. 4 minutes for questions. If you want to ask any questions about 211 Check. before we proceed. You can raise your hand or you can just put your question in the chat box. If there are no questions, thank you so much for listening. Um, I wish you the very best in this training session. And Guy, I saw you were able to share your screen. Can you share your screen again? Can you do that now? Oh, I should share from my end.
Right. I've said it. I've fixed it.
Okay. You can share. You can share.
All right.
Thank you. So over to the training now. Let us be very engaging. Yeah. So yeah, it's good to have a couple of you guys who have introduced themselves. I see Gismala Juma Musa, student from Stafford University. And then we have Asheng James Ajing, a journalism student at Uganda Christian University. And then we have Gabriel Gadluok Both. Good to have you here. And then we have Khan Mayol Gwet. And then we have, yeah. Have you shared your screen already, Guy?
I've shared it, and are you seeing it?
Let me.
Saying it.
Are you seeing it there? Are you seeing my screen?
I'm seeing it. You are reading information disorder?
Right.
Yes, you can proceed, please.
It's not visible from my end.
Not visible at your end. So let's.
It is okay. It is okay. It's visible.
It's okay now.
Okay.
It's okay. You can proceed, please, Guy.
But now, Bida?
Yes, we can see. You can proceed, please.
Yes, but I'm not able to transition. I don't want the issue here again.
You try to click. Just click on it. Oh, you check if there's a navigation pen down there. Usually it will have some arrows. Check on your screen.
Yeah.
Have you got it?
I've seen it. I've seen it. Just a
yes,
minute.
It is moving.
I've seen it.
Yes,
yeah.
The other one. Do you hear me? You just
Bida?
Guy, you can proceed, please. It's okay now. It was moving, so you can proceed.
All right. Okay, just take Bida. Hello, Bida.
Yes, please.
Yeah, just 1 minute.
Okay, so guys, if you have just joined us, you are welcome. Today is Saturday, and we are having our session on fact checking, on understanding the information landscape in terms of the information disorder. We're looking at the aspect of misinformation, disinformation, malinformation, and things of that sort. So we look forward to a very engaging session. You will be given the opportunity to share your perspectives. And of course, all of us have a role to play in order to put things right. So I would advise if you you can put up your video so that you save your bandwidth. It's not, yeah, we can have our videos on later, but for now, let our videos be off. Yeah. So, yes, Guy, can you proceed, please?
Right. We are seeing it.
Yes, we are seeing.
All right, all right. Thank you so much, Bida, for that brief overview of the 211 check, and also welcoming our participants on board as well. So good morning once again, everyone, and welcome to the session. Today we're going to look at the information disorder. That is also information pollution. And here we are going to look at discarding confusion. How do we discard the myth around misinformation and pollution that is in South Sudan? What are the key term things that you need to understand in order to navigate through the online spaces? And we are going to use these terms so interchangeably. We're going to use these terms so interchangeably. The information disorder or pollution refers to the same thing. So from your screen, Gaya Keji, the South Sudanese journalist, a fact checker and a researcher. I've used my fact-checking skills to debunk misinformation in South Sudan, both in the mainstream media and through his work and through my work at 211 Check. I'm also passionate about using these skills to train youth on access to accurate information and to curb hate speech in online spaces. And that has been through 211 Check, which made me got engaged with the government agencies, non-governmental organizations, prominent individuals, to combat the dangers of misinformation or information disorder in the country. I'm currently a Pan-African student, postgraduate student, taking Masters of Science in Governance and Regional Integration at the Pan-African University in Yaoundé, Cameroon. So what are we going to look at? In this session, we are going to look at the overview of information disorder, examples and types of information disorder, and examples of information disorder, how information disorder is spread, and dangers of information disorder, how to spot information disorder, and credible sources of information, what you can do to avoid information disorder in South Sudan. So, and the training objectives, by the end of this session, you will understand information disorder and types, how information disorder is disseminated, spotting information disorder, negative impacts of information disorder, and steps you have to take in order to keep in check information disorder. So the world is talking on digital pollution. This was a publication by Washington Monthly, a 2019 publication that explores information disorder or pollution. As you know, just as manufacturing industries are polluting the environment, the atmosphere, the same is possible and has been felt through the digital spaces. It is estimated that there are more than 300 billion of gigabytes of data or information that is produced daily globally. And such information is, more of it is false information, is not accurate, and we are consuming it. So just as much as the environment is polluted, our digital spaces are polluted as well, are polluted with this too much information available in the online spaces. So what is information disorder? Information disorder is the spread of disinformation or dissemination of false, is the spread or dissemination of false information, misleading or low quality information that can negatively impact individuals, society, or the overall ecosystem, information ecosystem. In this stage of disorder, the information you need to consume is not in the right place. You don't actually get the right one. You are misled. There is so much in the space available, and much of it is doctored in order to mislead people. So we're going to look at the types of information disorder. Here we have 3 types of information disorder, which are misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation. And misinformation, this is when false information is shared without the intent to deceive. It can be caused by mistakes, misunderstandings, or a lack of knowledge. I want you to be taking these definitions seriously and pay attention to them, because I'm going to be asking you maybe later on in the next slides of why a certain claim is a misinformation, disinformation, or is a malinformation. So once again, we have said misinformation is when false information is shared without the intent to deceive. It can be caused by mistakes, misunderstandings, or a lack of knowledge in that particular information someone is sharing. And this information, on the other hand, is the spreading of false information, which is deliberately made to deceive or mislead. It is often used to manipulate public opinion or behavior. So there is intent, there is intention to mislead people or to deceive people. That is with disinformation. The person propagating the information knows that he or she is going to deceive people or mislead. And that is done in order to maybe influence public opinion or behavior. And also the third one is the malinformation, which is, in this case, the information is genuine. It is genuine information, but it's shared with the intent to harm someone or institution. This can include sharing private information or sharing information that is intended to damage someone's reputation. So here there is no lie. It is in fact something had happened. Something happened to someone or to an institution, but people are using it in terms of with the intention to bring harm or damage to someone or to an institution. So look at this headline. Look at this headline. This was from City Review, the City Review, the November 2022 publication. And the headline reads, South Sudan loses 4 members of parliament per month. So what do you think? What do you think? Why is it a misinformation? And is the source credible? And what is the implication? What does it imply? What does this imply to you, to your understanding? Just briefly, in regard to our definition of misinformation, is there anyone to tell us why it is a misinformation? Just briefly. And maybe also if the source is credible. And what do you think is the implication of this? Is there someone? Yes, Emmanuel Duku.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Thank you. You'll have to bear with me. My background is a little bit noisy because I'm traveling. To me, when you look at the headlines, first of all, I'm not sure whom the reporter spoke to and what is the cause of this death to 4 MPs per month. If you look at the headlines, that's a scary headlines, meaning people may look at the parliament as a source of death. If you go to the parliament, there's possibility that you may be among those 4 members of parliament who dies every month. So it is just to mislead the public that that place is not a safe haven for our members of parliament. Secondly, Has the source whom he spoke to done research? What kind of, okay, what causes the death to these 4 MPs monthly? Is it scientifically proved that the sicknesses that they are dying of is a natural death or it's something associated to poisoning? That's the best I can just give according to this headline. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, K. Emmanuel. We are going to proceed. Thank you for your contribution. Well, the headline itself is parallel to the context given. And as Kay said, the headline is misleading. It is not correct because if you have to calculate the number of people South Sudan is losing or the South Sudan parliament is losing, that is 4 members a month. And in a year, there will be 48 members of parliament dying yearly, 48. So maybe in a few years' time, the members will be over, right? So that is what the headline is conveying. And indeed, it is not it is not what you find in the context. It was just that particular month that 4 members of parliament passed away. So this error was involuntarily committed. It can be due to the incompetence of the reporter, because this is not what they intended to communicate. Okay. So secondly, the City Review is a credible source of information. It is a registered media company in South Sudan accredited by the Communication Authority to operate in the country. So it is a credible source of information. And then what is the implication? What is the implication? What does it imply? So the implication is that any slightest syntax error changes context of your communication. Any small grammatical error changes your context of communication. So just look at the headline here. Just that small error has changed the context of this particular publication, which is misleading. You can also learn that credible sources of information are also affected by misinformation. They are affected, and this therefore call for fact-checking, which is vital in any media organization. And in most cases, some serious and media organizations are including fact-checking desk at the institutions, at the companies. This is to ensure there is quality assurance, there is quality of any publication they do in order to correct such petty mistakes of grammatical errors. So fact-checking is the one that it guarantees quality of everything that you do. Without fact-checking, you can lose trust with your audience. So another example here is disinformation. The writers and the producer, look at these screenshots of the Juba Eye. When you look at it, it was posted 17 minutes when I saw it. Then I had to screenshot it on during that, I think some days ago, a few days ago. So I had to screenshot it, and because I had seen there was some, doubts in how they presented this information. So I was suspicious, like how come, there were so many questions that were not answered. So I had to fact check this by verifying from Lady Cola's website, Facebook page. I had to check there. But I found out that Lady Cola had not posted anything about the producers and the writers of her song being arrested or being summoned by the High Court. So I became 195% convinced that the information is fake. What was provided by Juba Eye, in fact, it was a false information. So 1 hour later, I came back to this to the Juba Eye page, and then fortunately I found these comments by Lady Cola, the artist involved. And you can clearly see, you guys laugh fake news. That's what you are reading from your screen. So this tells you that this information was concocted. There was no bit of truth in it. It was just intended to mislead and increase traffic on the page. So this was how the Juba Eye had intended it. It was intentional misleading, like just to mislead people deliberately. And the third type of this information disorder, which is malinformation. In South Sudan, malinformation has been targeted at institutions or prominent figures, e.g. musicians, leaked sexually explicit images or video clips, which I can't share attached here, are usually shared to damage the reputation of the individuals involved. Mostly it is referred to as revenge pornography. It is usually followed with a lot of bullying, and sometimes the victims encounter a lot of depression and emotional breakdown, because when such explicit images are shared into the public domain, it comes with with the reputation like being damaged. So, and you know as well that malinformation refers to genuine information. Genuine information, that means these videos or sexually explicit images are indeed that of the victims, but they were not intended for the public. They are not intended, but some malicious people want to create harm to damage the individuals. They have to share such information to the public. On the institutional basis as well, we do see institutions going viral because maybe they made some mistake in their communication or in another way. Sometimes back, the examination council of South Sudan was experienced this. They had written a media invitation card or like document inviting media to cover the press conference, but the information, the message itself was full of grammar errors, full of grammatic errors. So it trended, and people, the intent was that how can the examination council lack people to write good grammar or to communicate efficiently or effectively? So such affects institutions as well. And information disorder also has other examples in which the information is packaged. And this means that anything that we consume, just to take this dimension like fake news, hoaxes, to take also another aspect of in fact, we're going to look at them in there. So fake news, what is fake news? It refers to false or fabricated information presented as factual news. It is often intended to deceive or mislead readers. This can include intentionally misleading headlines, manipulated images, or completely invented stories. Looking at the screenshots attached, it was an audio shared online by this particular personality with this caption that the press secretariat and the President Salva Kiir press secretariat in work attend a call former boss Kiir Eluta. Listening to the audio, you don't even find where this particular source mentioned President Kiir as such. So this is false. It is just fabricated just to mislead people. Okay, so this falls under the fake news. We also have hoax, and a hoax is a trick or deception that is intended to deceive or mislead someone. Hoaxes can be spread through a variety of means, including email, social media, and word of mouth. These cover a wide range of topics, including celebrities, politics, current affairs, to also look at even about the jobs opportunities and all those. And the example which the 211 check debunked is this particular one here, calling for poverty alleviation program application. This is indeed something that is not in existence. It is not verifiable on the UNHCR website. It is not indeed there. And for those who have background in cyber security, when you look at this this link, this hypertext transfer protocol, the HTTP, there's no S. There's no S indicating security. So whenever you encounter such advertisement or such links and like urging you to apply for certain things, and you see this, there is no security feature here, there's no S at this link, you just have to be sure that is the first step for you to take, to be cautious, not proceed with such applications. And clickbaits. Clickbaits are sensational or misleading headlines designed to attract clicks and generate website traffic. Often, it leads to low quality or irrelevant content. Clickbaits aim to grab attention rather than providing accurate or valuable information. But how does they do this? The people behind clickbaits ensures that they address or they appeal to your emotional curiosity. They want you to be curious. They want you to really feel concerned about that particular headline, about that whatever they are trying to communicate, in order to have you click the links to their website. And you will also notice that clickbait use a lot of action words, strong action words, yeah, that really appeal to your curiosity or to your emotions. For example, the ones screenshot here are very strong action words. Just even the way they even put exclamation and all that. For example, this one here you are saying, surprising news. It is amazing. What everyone is talking about. No one saw this coming. Unbelievable. All these are made in a way that you just want to feel like you want to know what is everyone talking about that you are missing out. So at the end, what you will do is just click. You will click on such links for you to understand. And the other example here is that of this one here calling you to also have a knowledge of the 19 lines, which says, Sex and the City is the most cringe-worthy show in TV history. And here are 19 lines to prove it. So it is like trying to test your emotional curiosity. You want to know about this particular headline and what are the 9 lines that show indeed this particular headline or this particular program is indeed the talk of the town and is taking everyone to talk about it. So this is how clickbait. Make sure you have clicked the website or they redirect you to their website to generate traffic, maybe for reasons like monetary reasons, so that they get payment, advertisement and all that. But in fact, the content is usually irrelevant. It's not actually linking with what the headline is portraying. We're also looking at misleading or biased reporting. It mostly happens with media outlets or journalists who present information with a subjective or skewed perspective, omitting crucial facts or manipulating information to promote a particular agenda or viewpoint. And In this case, we have so many tabloids in South Sudan, G4 Radio 10, 64 tribes press, and 10 states press, and many others. And I hope most of you have come across this particular tabloids or Facebook pages spreading a lot of information that is inaccurate. So these are some common forms of information pollution that can distort the truth, undermine trust, and hinder the healthy flow of accurate and reliable information in our context, in various contexts. And conspiracy theories, they explain the attempt or their explanation that attempt to link causes or events or phenomena, and often involves secretive or malicious groups controlling or manipulating events. And for the same event, narrations are always different, usually full of personal opinions or the writers or the producers' biases. The recent example is that of the Titan submersible. This tiny ocean vessel that disappeared in June this year. It was taking 5 tourists to the depth of the Atlantic Ocean to view the wreckage of the Titanic, but unfortunately it imploded just mid-journey. But then, since its disappearance and during that catastrophic event, there have been so many publications that try to explain how the Titan submersible imploded, or the events that surrounded the catastrophe. But you find that they are different, like how they present this information will not be the same with another publication that was trying to reveal what really happened. They are trying to explain, but in the explanation, there is a lot of differences. So, and also another example is that of the late Dr. John Graham, the Mabure, who died in a plane crash, in a chopper crash in 2005. And also, ever since then, there are documentaries that are trying to explain how Dr. John Graham died, or the event that transpired on that particular helicopter. But the most funny thing is that about the conspiracy theories, it is very hard for a common person to really verify the accuracy of such publication or such researches, because it involves a lot of technical procedures. It also involves money for you to access some of the information. And also it involves big people, some elites, or even malicious groups that are controlling or working around such events. And for you to independently verify that these people are saying the truth, it becomes really difficult. And in that matter, it is easy for people to consume misinformation through such conspiracy theories, because they explain things that cannot be easily verified. So how do information disorder floods our spaces? How do we come to consume the information disorder? You have to also know that for communication to occur, a medium of communication is required. And the medium of communication in this case, which is really taking a lot of people, or involving a lot of people, is the social media. Social media has been the main driver of misinformation, because billions of people are on the internet, and what is shared in some part of the world is like, it is spread all over the world. So this has been exacerbated by the advancement in technology. What you need nowadays is just a small smartphone with some internet, and then you are able to access all the information that is available online. You can also produce your information, your content. So this has made it so easy for information disorder to flood our surroundings. We also have to also notice that there is spread of disinformation through word of mouth. There's some disinformation which are going on, which are not on Facebook or maybe on the social media, but they are shared through words of mouth. Talking to someone, I had this one said this, and they said that, and this is what is happening. And whenever this information goes from one person to another, it always changes context. It always maybe developed into something bigger than it is started. So we also this information also get into our spaces through text messages. Maybe someone just wrote a text and that this will happen. And during COVID-19, you might have seen that viral text message. That was like there was a child born somewhere, and that child was talking, and that people should take a plain tea without sugar early in the morning so that they don't die of COVID-19 or they will be immune from contracting coronavirus. That was virally circulated through the text message. So information disorder can also reach to our spaces, can also reach us through text messages. We also have online forums. And in this case, we have so many Facebook pages. And I've mentioned two notorious Facebook pages here, Tom I and Amankat, mostly terrorizing people of Jonglei and sometimes attacking individuals in the national government. So you find that these pages are controlled by some radical individuals who attack personalities or even communities. Just in this manner, like they are very rampant, they talk anything, they don't censor themselves, they are much into spreading fake information, false information, damaging people's reputation, and so on. We also have email as another channel of spreading this information. It is a medium in which also consume or we get disordered information. We also have traditional news media, which includes maybe the radio, the newspapers, the television, because also we can have, as we've seen in the other example, even the mainstream media can commit errors that result to miscommunication or disorder in communication. So we are going to take a short break. And have some reflection on what we have gone through. Over to you, Bida.
Thank you so much, Guy, for the in-depth presentation. It's been nice. I've been able to learn a lot of things with respect to how things play around these issues, and I sincerely appreciate you for that. And in the meantime, I would be sharing an attendance register. Remember, most of you requested that they needed data reimbursement. So for you to get data reimbursement, we should be able to take your attendance record to confirm that you have been part of this session. So I'm going to drop an attendance form in the chat box. So please register your attendance using the form. You click the link and then you register your attendance. And then let's say it's going to be a 4 minutes break. We'll resume at 10 minutes past 11. So like I said, please register your attendance and provide the number to which your data reimbursement will be sent. It will be sent next week on Monday. Today is not a working day, so the Head now finance people are not in the office. You'll get your attendance. You'll get your data reimbursement on Monday, and that is why it's very important for you to join the WhatsApp group so that we can easily follow the logistics issues from there. So I have dropped the attendance. You can register your attendance using that link. If you are following on YouTube, I will drop the attendance at the top chat. I will pin the attendance at the top of the live chat on YouTube, and then you will register from there, because people who are facing internet issues are following that session from YouTube, so that they can easily, YouTube it's very flexible with YouTube is very flexible with internet issues, so you wouldn't face a lot of challenge. So if you keep dropping from Zoom, I would advise that you just switch to YouTube and then follow from there. Yeah, so if you're following on YouTube, please note that I have pinned the attendance register at the top. It's at the top chat. So and on the top of the live chat, I have pinned the attendance register. So you can just click on it and then register your attendance for the session in order to get your data reimbursement. If you don't register, then we may not have your record, and then we cannot also independently confirm that you are part of this session. Otherwise, thank you so much. I hope that you are getting to understand how complex these things are, and the different actors that come when it comes to information pollution. I'm going to read a few comments from the chat box, and then yeah, I see someone is saying that yeah, someone was commenting that thanks for the excellent presentation, Guy. Thanks for the overview. Somebody is saying he's joining from Tana River in Kenya and he's a presenter. And then we have somebody is asking that how can we deliver good information to the public in terms of article publication by the private media. And then, of course, for you to deliver quality information, the tips that he mentioned there, you need to make sure that you use credible sources, make sure that you cross-check your information, do not rush to publish. These days, a lot of media, they want to be, especially online, they want to be the first to publish the news, which shouldn't be the case. You need to take your time and then make sure that every content that is published follows the established editorial processes of your media entity. There are some media entities now who have abandoned their editorial processes, and then they just go and publish things whichever way they like, which shouldn't be the case for quality control. And then somebody is asking, how can we counter and debunk this kind of malinformation without causing reputation or damage to the source? So not all these claims are supposed to be debunked, or then they are supposed to be fact-checked. There are some of them that are just meant to be there and they cannot be actually found. Not everything can be fact-checked. There's some of them also for people not to cause more of this to even spread further. Yeah, we can leave it unchecked as long as it doesn't cause dire implications on society. And somebody said, what are the strongest regulations in place to prevent fake news in South Sudan? Yeah, there's some provision in regards to some of the spread of these things in the penal code. I'm not so sure about the Media Authority Act. Yeah, but there should be some things to do with that. We also had a session on media laws and policies in South Sudan. I will share with you later so that you can follow from the perspective of a law practitioner. So, and then yeah, and someone is saying thank you so much. And I am sharing the attendance again. Our time for the break is over. So fast, 4 minutes is gone. So we are giving you an additional 1 minute. Guy, you can please share your screen. I can see your screen is appearing somehow. So if you try to rectify that, please. Yeah, otherwise, please register your attendance. It's very, very important for purposes of your data reimbursement, especially. Because in the past we have had issues, people complaining to us and stuff, so we do not really want. Yeah. It's okay. Just put it on screen share and then proceed to the next. Yeah, our time for the break is almost over. It has gone back to its. Why did you actually alter it? It has gone back to its. Yeah, now it has spoiled again. So you just try to fix it because the break time is over.
All right.
Yep. So if you have any questions, you can keep dropping them in the chat box. Later on, we'll have a Q&A session where we'll get to answer all these questions. And also, you can talk about what you think about how some of these issues can be. My friend, it keeps going back to the same way it was. What could be the problem? Maybe you stop sharing and then you share again.
I didn't stop.
You stop sharing and then you just go straight away to the slide that you want to share, and then you just share there. Otherwise, you should have just left it the way it was, because now it's going to be more complicated for you. You just try to fix it, please. Yeah, so if you're facing any challenges with the attendance, you can let me know. Let me know, please. Yeah, so if you're following from the YouTube channel, yes, please.
Yeah.
Have you fixed it now?
I hope you are not seeing it. You're still not seeing it?
It is still blur. We are seeing it, but it is blur. You see, so that's the problem. So that's why I'm saying you stop sharing. Let me just stop sharing for you, and then you stop sharing, and then and then you share. You just go straight away to the slide where
let me go back to
just go straight to the slide where you want to share, and then you share.
Yeah. It's back again.
Like this is okay now. You can proceed.
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, you're welcome back from the break.
Yeah.
Now proceed.
Yeah, welcome back everyone. And thank you for your patience. I've also noticed that people from Uganda, Kenya, and you are all welcome. And in the course of this presentation, if you feel like there is an addition you want to make, you can just notify me, or you need clarification, you also have to let me know in the course of the presentation. Just to answer someone who asked about media regulation, maybe on social media. Indeed, there are regulations. There are regulations to control how media institutions should be operating in South Sudan. And the regulating authority is the Media Authority of South Sudan, which regulates both mainstream media and that is both online media and the traditional media. But there has been a challenge most of the time regulating the online media, because most of these online media work under anonymity, which makes it difficult for the regulating authority to control them, because you can't control a person you don't actually know the address, you don't know where they are. Also, there is cyber crime court, which is operating in South Sudan, and So far, I think there's handled some cases of defamation or spread of misinformation in South Sudan. So such regulations are in place, but the implementation sometimes become challenging because this particular media outlets are not registered. They are just working in darkness. So someone is raising their hand. Come.
Hello.
Yes, Kang, welcome.
Yeah, thank you. I'm still seeing brief breaks and reflection, and it's like you are already on the point, or is it my internet problem?
No, it's actually my screen. It is like that. I was answering a question that was posed
Okay.
early. Yes, about the
Okay.
media regulations, maybe the regulations uh, related to media practice in South Sudan.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
Continue.
All right. So we're going to look at the information disorder dimension. And these dimensions, we are going to look at the manner in which information is presented to us, the manner in which this information is packaged and reaches to us. It takes different forms. It takes political dimension, it takes tribal, it takes financial or economic dimension, as well as parody or entertainment, as well as health. So looking at the political dimension of information disorder, this is where spread of false information or rumors about political candidates is propagated. Maybe parties or events, maybe by parties or through events with the intention to manipulate public opinion, to discredit opponents, or influence elections outcome. For example, spreading fabricated stories about a candidate's criminal background to tarnish their reputation. So this is a war that politicians normally do. And there is that famous phrase that politics, I don't know, I hope there's no politician here, and of course there are, that politics is a dirty game. Of course, people do accept that because normally to play politics, you need to look for weaknesses of your opponent. You have to look at how can you attack or what can you say about your opponent in order to bring them down, in order to reduce their influence. So it is about exalting yourself while holding down your opponent. So in this screenshot shared by this particular page, Unity and whatever, it asserted or it purported that the Director General for National Security Service had vowed to topple President Kiir's government if President Kiir relieved him from his position, from his Director General position. So let's assume like this was, okay, not even assuming, this was meant to damage the reputation of this particular person, the Director General of National Security Service, I call it code. So maybe the political opponent, or maybe another person who is like against him, and looking at it or even trying to see the authenticity of this information, it is just so shallow. There's nothing convincing that you can actually get from it. There's nothing substantial, and it is just a fabricated information to tarnish the image of this particular person. So, and another dimension is the tribal information disorder, which is the deliberate dissemination of false information targeting specific tribes or ethnic groups to fuel hatred, division, or conflicts. This can include false claims about attacks, historical atrocities, or promoting stereotypes and prejudices. And in most cases here, we have seen that like this particular, the one I mentioned earlier, the Tom I has been spreading a lot of disinformation. This was a video which it posted, and it was reading like these people in the video were preparing to attack Dinka, to attack Dinka tribe, the Equatorian youth attacking Dinka tribe living in Equatoria, and the Dinka need to be vigilant and ready for the imminent attack. So this is just false information. There's nothing true in this. It was just made to mislead people. When you watch the video, you find that these people were not even doing some conflict-related meeting or whatever. They were doing some cultural dance, and it was a video taken somewhere, like within South Sudan in the Equatorial region. I couldn't independently verify where exactly, but it was in the Equatoria. But the event was a cultural dance. So tribal information disorder can lead to hatred. It can lead to state of fear and unrest. People find it uneasy even to coordinate or to coexist amongst themselves. And we have also the parody. Parody or entertainment is the creation and dissemination of satirical or parody content that may be mistaken as genuine news. This can lead to confusion and the spread of misinformation, especially when the content is shared without proper context or clarification of its satirical nature. Here, the magnitude of this information in the parody or entertainment dimension, it doesn't have a lot of impacts, or maybe that the negative impacts that it can cause, or the danger or harm it can cause to people. For example, this particular screenshot, it talks about President Salva Kiir meeting the Queen of England in London and asked her, "How do you run such an efficient government?" Yeah. So reading the whole thing, you will find that it was not something bad. It is not negative. It is not creating harm. It was just entertainment. And many people laughed and find it funny. It was not attacking anyone. But in that year, President Kiir never visited the UK. He had not visited that year. And also, it was just created for entertainment, just to make people laugh. And the version of this same kind of information or publication, it has different versions. You can even fix your name there, or there can be other characters. So this person decided to fix President Kiir in this particular parody, because President Kiir is an influential person, a person who is known and is controlling government. So they decided to do this as part of entertainment. So the issue is that people might not actually, like some people who are not unsuspecting readers might take it that it is true indeed. President Kiir had visited England and asked the Queen about this and that, which is not the case. It is just intended for entertainment, but it can actually mislead. They can mislead people to believe it is true. So we also have health dimension of this and misinformation. This when false or misleading information related to health issues, treatments, or public health crises. This can include promoting unproven cures, falsely linking vaccines to unrelated health problems, or downplaying the severity of a disease, leading to public health risk. So health disinformation or misinformation has seen so many people rejecting conventional vaccines or treatments because of false information or disinformation that was spread about that particular disease. And people tend to downplay the severity of such diseases because they have a preconceived information, disinformation about such particular disease. And we have seen so many like this particular screenshot that talks about HIV as cure, and you have to contact this particular person in order to help. That is a lie. Some people are in the process of trying to get the medicine or to get the cure. They have even complicated their health. They have risked their health because of such misleading information. And another dimension which we're looking at it is the financial information. Financial information disorder, which is the spread of false or misleading information about the economy, usually propagated through a variety of channels, including social media, news websites, and word of mouth. We have seen the central bank, the Bank of South Sudan complaining sometimes about that. It was false information. We have not run out of foreign reserves. Yeah, because through the word of mouth, the black market dealers will just spread the information, the false information that the central bank is out of foreign reserve or is out of dollars. So what they need to do is like increase the demand for the dollars, and which also affects the economy. It affects the purchases of goods and of commodities in the market. So it affects everyone. It affects everyone, and it spreads through the word of mouth, through these dealers. So that has been another challenge that is related to financial aspect. And how is this information or information pollution propagated? Here we are looking at the actors that are responsible for information, for the spread of misinformation. And one example here is social media influencers, or popularly known as gurus. These people have significant following online and can influence the public with the information they share, including fake ones. These people have a lot of following. We find that they have millions of more with, of followers, and they can share anything. They can concoct information and share it. But then again, the followers will think this is real because so and so has shared it. So they have to follow it. They have to take it as a truth and also disseminate it. So through social media influencers, and not all of them, there are some good ones, we get to consume false information in our spaces. We also have foreign actors. Foreign actors who do researches might carry out researches with biases that present false version of the reality on the ground. You find that someone might come to South Sudan, maybe from other countries, conduct research, but the sources that particular researcher consulted are not actually have not given the genuine information or what is reflected in reality. So they will end up getting such news and write them or such publication or researches and write them for the public. And then again, being a documented one, people tend to take trust in it that this is real information, which actually mislead and spread misinformation. And usually it takes time for people to actually correct such researches. One example being that of the European about Africans, the concept or how they presented Africa then, the colonial era. that Africans were lazy people, and they will dance 6 days in a week, and then on the 7th day they rest, implying that Africans don't work. They just do they dance and marry and eat and all that, but they don't work. So Africa up to today is still fighting to demystify such writing or such researches which are portraying negatively about Africans. And indeed, Africans were working hard. They had all the factors of production, of economic production during those days before the colonization. So we also have other instigators of false information, which are politicians. And there are also good politicians and those who are spreading false information. So if you are a politician here, you are a good politician. So these particular politicians, these people who are maybe into spreading disinformation, they are interested in attacking opponents with false claims. And as obvious, they want to damage them. They want to talk anything that is negative about them for them to have no influence, because politicians normally compete for influence on the people. So a person who has a lot of influence tends to be the one who is maybe preferred and has a lot of votes and maybe affiliation with the people. And trolls also are another way of getting misinformation, which are the people who deliberately spread false information in order to upset or annoy others. These people can be motivated by factors such as boredom, anger, or desire to sow discord. And in 2021, I think some of you might have heard of the social media socialite, Mama Mira. Mama Mira was sued by someone whom she defamed on social media, and she was tried in the court. Amira was taken to court because she was responding in anger. She was talking bad about that particular person, that they have done this and this and that and that. But indeed, the case was taken as a defamation. So trolls are other ways in which we get information disorder, because out of anger, someone can say all nasty things about an individual, but the audience will take it, this is true, or they will always associate such false claims with the person. So how do you spot fake information, and mostly online? So how do we spot fake news? So the first thing you need to do when you are getting or when you are bombarded with any information that is sensational or inflammatory or otherwise seem to be too good to be true, you need to be skeptical. You need to have personal judgment, like, what is this? You ask yourself questions. Why is this not like this? So what? And what is the implication? And what is this? And who are involved and all that? You just need to be curious about such sensational or inflammatory information that comes your way. You also need to check the source of the information. Is it a reputable news organization or a website that you have never heard of before? And that is one thing you need to do in order to verify the accuracy of such information you are consuming. Who is the person who has published the information? Is it a news organization? Is it a website that you have never heard of? And if you have never heard of it, then you also need to search other sources. If you can also find the same information, or if other people are talking about it, If not, and it's only that particular website that is talking about it, then you need to be curious as well. You need to be curious and also check about for how long has that website been in existence, because some websites or pages are created just shortly and start being viral, or maybe posting nasty things in order to have influence or be noticed or to have a lot of shares on the internet. So the third one is you have to check for evidence to support the claims being made. Can you find other sources that corroborate the information? You have to actually verify the information, the evidence. What is mentioned, what is in existence? Is it existing? And are other people talking about it? If there is no corresponding information related to that, then you need to know that that is actually fake information. Because one thing you need to know, if they are inflammatory or they are sensational, you need to know that so many people have to talk about it. If it is only one source that is talking about it, then you need to be cautious. You have to know that this is actually a disinformation. You also need to be aware of the biases of the source. Some sources are up to promoting the agenda. They have to promote certain agenda, maybe in collaboration or maybe their own. Yeah. So, and if they have the biases, of course, the information will be compromised. That information will not have legitimacy. It will just be one-sided, and chances of being miscommunication or being an information disorder are actually very high. So what are the impacts of information disorder in our society today? Information disorder has a lot of negative impacts. Of course, there's nothing positive about information disorder. And one way through which we are affected by information disorder is through increased polarization. Information disorder can contribute to increased polarization and social media or social unrest. This is because it can make it difficult for people to have constructive conversations about difficult issues. And you will also notice that people will already have negative preconceptions about each other, consequentially resulting to hate and violence. If a lot of false information is spread about communities or about individuals, people tend to be fragile against each other. They will be like they will have that negative view of their colleagues or their fellow citizens, which indeed discourages coexistence. It prevents people from having constructive conversations, and even discussing issues, simple issues will always lead to maybe conflict and misunderstanding. So the screenshot attached here are due to increased polarization. People are polarized. They talk negative about each other. They talk positive about communities, So that is how this information affects, because people spread a lot of misinformation about each other. And we also need to know that this information disorder can result to damage of public trust, and more especially to the media organizations. In cases where an institution or media institution make a lot of errors or spread disinformation frequently, the audience tend to have lack of trust in such media organization, and people are like constantly bombarded with false information. It can erode their trust in the institutions and the media. This can make it difficult to have open and honest conversations about important issues. Even when this particular media organizations are communicating something serious, there will always be that doubt, this must be false information, this is not accurate, So it can lead to loss of trust in public and maybe even with the politicians or other public institutions. It can influence, information disorder can also influence elections and decision making. Information disorder can be used to influence elections and other important decisions. This can lead to bad decisions that are not in the best interest of the public. South Sudan is heading towards the 2024 elections, but we expect much of elections-related misinformation and disinformation. We surely anticipate that because this is when people are really in a state of anxiety. They want to maybe push forward the interests of their political party. They want to defend their favorite politician. And in most cases, you will hear that elections have been rigged. So and so has done this, and there will be a lot of doubts in the process of the electoral process. So, and I hope 201 Check and other media stakeholders are keen on this, and they will be doing some media training on election disinformation. We will surely do that so that the citizens are aware about what to expect and how to prevent it. So how do you scrutinize sources online? How do you, or even in offline communication or in offline space, how do you scrutinize? How do you actually vet sources that this is genuine source or not? And we use the acronym IAM-VEN. This stands for independence, multiple sources, verification, authority or informed sources, and named sources. The acronym is useful in evaluation of online sources of information, as well as some offline communication, because if it is word of mouth, then you need to know who is involved or who is mentioned in that claim. Is the person like a known person that you can actually confirm from them that indeed they said this? So looking at each of these, the independence, which is the I, refers to the source. The source is not affiliated with any particular person or organization. For independent sources, there is tendency that they will give a balanced story or a balanced information. But in cases where an organization or that source of information is affiliated to maybe particular organization or maybe related to politician or that, it will not spread or it will not produce accurate information because it will always be influenced. It is not independent. So, and you also find that multiple sources of information is convincing than single source. When you have sources talking about the same and you can actually verify the consistency of the facts, you can know that this can be true. Because even, multiple sources can have credible sources of information talking about that particular claim. And indeed, you can be convinced that it is true. And verification, the source cites its evidence and allows for dissenting opinions or opposing opinions. If a source does not give allows for verification or allows not verification allows for opposing opinion, it is just one-sided. It is talking good about one thing without bringing in other opinions or other opposing views. It indeed tends to be misleading, or your curiosity need to be maybe activated. You need to be skeptical about it. Why is it just 100%? Why is it just this and there's no other views which are expressed? And looking at A and I, you also need to know the sources, where the source, if the source is written by experts in the field or has been published in reputable journals. Experts normally give details information about the views. Let's say for journalists or maybe humanitarian organizations, yeah, they will always have experts talking about or writing about particular publication or about particular information, which indeed can be a credible source. So, and if the source is written by experts in that field, then obviously it becomes a credible information or source of information. And also the N, which refers to the named sources. The source of information is the source of information identifies its authors. It is easy to cross-check with the author's name. Let's say Gayakej is mentioned as the author of that information shared. Then you as a fact checker or you as a person who is skeptical about that particular information, you need to background check, like, what does Gayakej do? Like, has he ever written this? Has he done this before? And what does he do? Like, and indeed, has he written about this particular information that is going viral or being shared or mentioned somewhere there? So, but in cases where there is anonymity, you don't actually know who is the source, who is the author, who wrote it, and you cannot verify independently that this particular information originated from so and so as the source. So this is what you need to know, and this is what you need to employ every time you are going through sources where you find the information is just somehow sensational, or you just feel skeptical about it. You just need to follow this or remember this acronym. So what are the trusted sources of information? These are the sources where if you find information which is shared by them, you will surely have no doubts that it is fake information. You will have trust in them, which include the academic journals. And academic journals are peer-reviewed, and publications are written by experts in a particular field. So many fields, you have experts in that, and they can actually look at different topics, health issues, talk of economic, agriculture, and all those. So if they are written, like for this particular academic journals, you will have different experts writing on those topics, and therefore information given there will never be like post doubts. Yeah, so academic journals are trusted sources. We also look at news websites as well as traditional media, including radio, newspapers, and television. News are usually written by journalists who have been trained to gather and report news accurately. So if you encounter information originating from news websites, credible news websites, TV stations, radio, or the newspaper, then you know that this is a trusted source of information. And even if there is slight misinformation, like one we saw from the City Review, then it poses no danger. Like the impact is not that serious. It poses no harm. Okay, it is just small grammatical error, which can be fixed. And in most cases, you do hear these people maybe apologizing because of the publication which they did, maybe some hours ago or maybe a day ago. They usually apologize that, oh, sorry for this publication, it was misleading and we did not get this fact right. So sorry, and maybe they can actually correct that if it is a website, or if it is something that cannot be corrected, then they have to pull down the whole story from the website. Yeah, so news websites are credible sources of information. We also have government websites, which include the government institutions, the embassies, the consulates, the ministries. So they provide information that is credible for public consumption. We have also non-profit organizations, which are typically staffed by experts in particular field and are committed to providing accurate information to the public. So information originating from non-governmental organizations or NGOs, talk about the UN agencies, the national non-governmental organizations. You tend to be convinced that their information they're sharing is accurate. And also, fact-checking organizations such as the 211 Check, Africa Check, PESA Check, they are credible sources of information. These fact-checking organizations do publications on debunking information, disinformation. They also write explanations on confusing topics or trending topics that need attention or need proper dissection for the public to easily understand. So they do the explanations. And whatever you find being published by fact-checking organizations like the 211 Check, there's no day you will find it misleading, because a lot of seriousness is put into ensuring the quality of what is produced or what is published. So fact-checking organizations should also be your number one priority, And in most cases, we have seen people trying to cross-check with the 211 Check, like, this is trending. What is it? Is it true? And you also check on the website, the 211 Check website, if that particular information is published or not. And the people, and for audiences and people who have been interacting with the 211 Check, they've actually been very skeptical of anything they come across on the social media. And you will always have, an extra eye looking at these issues. So how do we control information disorder? How do we prevent it from maybe causing harm on ourselves or even from spreading? One first thing you need to know, one thing you need to know, and every time you have to have a part of your life, is to be informed and critical of the information you consume. That includes taking steps to protect yourself from it and even others from being affected by information disorder. You need to have judgment. You need to be, alert every time you are maybe information come across your way, like you just encounter such sensational information or attention-grabbing information. You need to be curious about it. We also need to educate people about the dangers of disinformation. It is your responsibility and mine as well, and other stakeholders, to ensure people are educated. They know the dangers of disinformation or misinformation, because it can lead to so much harm to our societies and our communities, and even to the individuals. We have heard of person buying bars right now because they spread misinformation right in South Sudan. The people who are arrested, the people who are taken to court because of such, because they shared misinformation, information that is not even in existence, like it was just concocted. And so by educating people, you are protecting them from such dangers of being implicated by the authorities. We need also to hold social media platforms accountable for the spread of this and misinformation. Social media, as I said earlier, some of them operate under anonymity. You don't know who is operating particular website or particular social media page, Facebook page. They just are known people. But the information they are producing or spreading is just very harmful to the public, you know. And this is why 211 check has been actually helpful, because the government cannot hold these particular social media platforms accountable because they are unknown people. So through 211 check, citizens are finding it easy for them to actually like link or try to verify information, what is trending. And even through the debunked misinformation, you find that citizens are like, they came to learn, okay, oh, this is a lie. This is not true. This false information. Because 211 check has published it, has debunked it, and it is published again to the public for, for public to be aware that this is indeed a threat to their personal and, and other people's lives. So we also need to support fact-checking organizations, and fact-checking organizations such as the 211 check. We need to support them, and through collaboration efforts with the government, or even non-governmental organizations, they can actually pull together the efforts and ensure the 211 check has broader outreach. It reaches interior of South Sudan. It reaches so many audience, to ensure that we all work together to avert disinformation from spreading and spoiling or trying to discard our social fabrics. So we also need to be aware of the dangers of this information. They are so drastic. We know of so many dangers that are posed to us through misinformation, including violence, including, mistrust in the political processes and governance. So you also have to be aware and report any suspicious information to the relevant authorities. Relevant authorities can be authorities mentioned or related to that particular claim. And 211 check has been also handling a lot of suspicious claims that were forwarded and are forwarded by people like you, who are already aware about this information and the impacts it can cause to our country and our societies. So always have that in mind, to report such suspicious claims, so that some significant steps are taken to control it from further damage, or for the relevant authorities to publish, the real truth, to debunk such or to counter such claims. So we need to teach people how to spot this information. With your knowledge and what you have learned today, you can teach people in your network. Just teach them what you have learned about how to spot disinformation. Tell them if the source is like this, then you don't need to trust it. You need to check from different sources if they're saying the truth. If not, then you need to be curious about it, that this is disinformation and you don't have to spread it as further. So it is our responsibility to do so. You can help by mitigating the spread of disinformation in South Sudan and wherever you are. So head up, you are an advocate for change. Let us collaboratively tackle the dangers of information disorder, help stop the spread of this and misinformation in South Sudan and the global society. You can also help by not forwarding any information that you are not sure of. You don't have to share any information that you are not sure of its accuracy in the public, because by doing so, you are taking part in the spread of misinformation and contributing to information pollution in South Sudan. Thank you so much, and I really appreciate your time you have given. If there are questions, then you can also ask. And over to you, Dida.
Wow, excellent, 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 and excellent. This was very impressive and in-depth. Like, I have been following keenly from the beginning, and I can tell that I have learned a few new things, which would help my work and also inform some of my programming in future work that we will do a 2-on-1 check. So I see people asking very similar questions that are already answered in the presentation. But if you feel it's something that you have not addressed, you can ask. But most of the questions, I feel that most of the questions have already been answered. Like somebody's asking that. Somebody's asking, how can we best prevent and respond to misinformation in society? This has already been addressed. Critical thinking, very important. Cross-referencing sources, yeah. And then somebody's asking, but what is there for people to gain when they practice disinformation like Tom I? This has already been answered there. There are a lot of gains that people get. People make money. You know, Facebook pages can be monetized. So the more traffic you get to your page, you get money. And then you get more followers to come to your page. And then some of these pages, they do advertisement. So they get paid for the information that they post. Even some of them is spread propaganda, and they are being paid for publishing the propaganda. So these are gains. These are things that they benefit from. And then somebody's asking, somebody's asking again, let me get this question. Register one. Yes, you register only once. You register only once. And somebody's asking, what can you do if someone hacks your Facebook account and posts very bad info? So usually, as soon as you notice that your Facebook account is compromised, you report your page to Facebook. Facebook has a channel for reporting your hacked pages. Let me just share the link in the. Let me share the link in the chat box. So when your account or the account of your friend is hacked, you follow this link, facebook.com/hacked. This link here. So when you follow this link, then you report your account. They will ask you a few details. So this is it. Let's say my account is compromised. So you report your account, and then you will follow some few steps, and Facebook will help you recover your account. But make sure that you know the details. I usually, in such trainings, I advise people that please update your information. Some of you still have VivaCell numbers linked to your Facebook accounts. Some of you have emails that they no longer use linked to their Facebook accounts. Some of you have Uganda numbers or Kenya numbers that you have lost that are not. Please update your profile information. And then do not share your personal info with other people. Some of you get hacked because you share your personal information, phone numbers and emails with people anyhow. So that is not good. That is not good. Make sure that you update your information, and then when you go to security settings or privacy settings, make sure that you set your account to only you can see your personal information, so that somebody cannot easily compromise. And when somebody sends you, like in the past 2 days, I have seen even very close friends of mine, their WhatsApp numbers are being hacked, and then people post fake messages on their behalf. I just deleted messages from the fact checkers group because somebody posted him, and I know that is not him actually. So probably his account has been compromised, and then people begin going to groups and posting information on their behalf. So please, and this is because some of you don't do very, very basic things. So I advise you to make sure that you improve the security of your emails, security of your social media profiles. That is very important. And somebody say, apart from 3 trusted sources of information mentioned above, can an eyewitness be a trusted source? Yeah. So eyewitness can be a source of such information. So we're going to give an opportunity to a few of you to make comments. You can raise your hand, and if you're in a good place, you can turn on your video and speak. You can raise your hand, or you can just put your comments in the chat box in 4 minutes, and then we will close the call. We'll give it back to Guy to close. Yeah, if you want to make any comments, you can raise your hand. You can raise your hand.
Okay, just before anyone,
Yeah,
Kang, you
yes.
will come. Let me respond. Yes, let me respond to a question by John Kenny. John Kenny is saying, what can you do if whenever you find false information in the internet? So what you can do as a person who is knowledgeable about this information, how it is spread, or how to even identify that particular claim is disinformation, you need to report it to 211 check. 211 check is available on all the social media platforms, the Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Telegram. Report that to the 211 response team, and indeed you will be assisted and you will be given feedback about that particular claim. You can also, maybe in your capacity, contact some authorities in your place or where you can actually reach them, confirm with them if that information being said about them, if that is a person or that is a community or that is an institution. You need to contact such particular institutions, and this is happening or this is being spread about you. Is it true? Confirm it. Is this true or is it not? Hear from them. So that is another way you can actually report such false information. Alternatively, before you even do that, as a person who is informed and you have knowledge about that, you need to have a comment on that session, on that, maybe that particular claim. There is one particular example which I have not loaded to my slides. I think it just couldn't get attached. There was one particular guy who commented on a post shared by Citizen No One Citizen newspaper, that the newspaper company has received its registration and has been issued operation license by the Chamber of Commerce. You know, one particular person, I think one who is informed, like you people in this session, he commented. Stop. He commented under that post. Stop spreading disinformation. The Chamber of Commerce doesn't issue operation license. And indeed, that is true. That is true. No One Citizen newspaper being a news company, it is licensed by the Communications Authority or the Media Authority of South Sudan. It is licensed and given operations to licenses to operate. So there's no way Chamber of Commerce can be involved and issues, licenses of operations to companies. So that's another way you can do it. Things that you are sure of, write the comments there that this is not true, it is like this and this. Okay, that will help other participants, other readers from being misled. So thank you for that question, John Kenny. So Kang, you were having your hand up.
All right. Thank you so much. I don't have any question. My question is already in the chat box, and I would want to put some comments as the training is coming to an end. I personally enjoyed this training. Our problem as South Sudanese, we don't trust ourselves, because this is the reason I have been applying for training going to Netherlands, because of disinformation. When you go anywhere, you will find out that what is being posted is not what is been happening somewhere else. So you need a very important event to be conducted every time, everywhere, in order to inform our people to separate sense from nonsense, because some people are making money by using propaganda and fake news against individuals. So I hope we have enjoyed, and we will try anywhere to to let people know what is information disorder. And after this, I have already known some of the fake news which are not even posted. I have known. So when I go out, I'll teach the society around me that this is fake news and this is not fake news. I thought there were some tools that might be used to identify fake news. But when I go through the training, there's no need for going out for training. So thank you so much, Guy Cage, the trainer, and the host. We enjoy the event, and we also look forward to have more training so that we get informed from our own people to teach our own people. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Kang Mail. Really appreciate your inputs and taking it into consideration. And it is indeed, as you said, it is our responsibility for people who have known what this information is and how it is spread and what are the dimensions which we consume them. So we are always on alert that anything that we come across, you need to have the third eye and look at them. And so that you have to prevent it from having damage to their communities or our society, or even to the extent of it causing a lot of chaos in our country. So it is your responsibility. It is our responsibility, and in order to do this, we need to combine our efforts and keep doing it and keep, spreading the great news and impacting people. And by the end, maybe we are going to cover the whole country. Your efforts and my efforts can actually work and have a positive impact to the desired outcome. So thank you so much. Any other input or question, or maybe someone sharing an experience about what they have encountered and so?
Yes, I see a hand from Bidali Samson and then John Kenny. Bidali, over to you. Thank you so much, Khan. But you need to apply for that Netherlands thing.
All right.
Yeah, I wish you the best. I wish you the best.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Moderator. Thank you so much, our brother Chen. Thank you so much. I really learned a lot, and I just have a recommendation for the training. I believe next time it will be much more better. We have only few hours we spent, and I believe by next time, if people can improve on the time, at least something like 4 or 5 hours will be much more better. So that we'll be able to learn more things, and then we'll be able to also have enough time to discuss as participants. So I think that is just a comment that I would like to add. I believe next time we shall be able to improve on that. Thank you so much. You can pass the opportunity to someone else. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Bidali.
Yeah.
Over to you, John Kenny, and then Machol Joseph, and then we close that session. John Kenny, you're welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm really impressed. I would like to thank 211 Check for the opportunity that they have given us to be there, the co-host, Guy Akej, for the wonderful presentation. I really enjoyed this. I am just giving also a recommendation that in the nearest future, we should also have more of this so that we will be able to help avert false news or false information that is circulating over the media in the country. Maybe we could also be able to identify, for example, how do we identify fake pictures, fake news that are spread through pictures, and some captions are attached to. It could be better. Later, you could also put that, and we could have more time to interact and share our experiences from various locations. That will really be good for us, because this is really wonderful. And once the coverage is bigger, I know the distribution of all fake news will drop in the country. I am just impressed, and I'm happy for this training. Thank you so much.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Just to answer you quickly, these sessions will be there. Like we'll have these sessions every 2 weeks. So for the next 6 months. So the idea is to have a training and a webinar. So for instance, right now we are having a training, and then next week we'll have a webinar in which we'll have some panelists, and we will discuss, for instance, we will discuss the challenges to fact-checking and investigative journalism, because fact-checking is more like investigative journalism. But then the difference is that with fact-checking, it already relies on information that is available. But then with investigative journalism, you have to dig deep into information that is not available. So that is also something that that we are going to do. So I would encourage even if you want to participate as a panelist, you want to share your insights, we very much welcome that. I was supposed to share the list of the topics that we have in the lineup, so some of you can see where you can fit, and then you write to us that I'm very interested to talk about this topic, and then we can put you in our lineup. But then I couldn't find my spreadsheet because it is in a different email. So if you are in the WhatsApp group, what I can do is I will share that spreadsheet in the WhatsApp group, and then you can text me if you are very interested to take part in any of this conversation, or you are very interested to lead a training on one of the topics that we will outline. We are very much open to, because like 211 Check is a community, and every one of you is a member of this community. We'll be excited to have each and every one of you like being part of these sessions. For the next 6 months, we'll have these conversations every 2 weeks. Yes, I see a hand from James Corn Brown. James Corn, you're welcome, please.
Yeah, thank you for the chance. I'm very privileged to attend the training and to also participate and get more experience on presentation. In fact, I only have one which the trainers should also help us, the participants, by providing us, of which in our emails, if you can at least provide to us the slides that we can go to better. This is just an humble request. And otherwise, I'm happy, and the training was very nice, and it covers most of the things which we experience online in South Sudan and wherever we stay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, perfect. So this time we will put the slides on SlideShare. So SlideShare is an online platform where we'll put the slides, and then you will download the slides from there. The slides will be there forever, and then we'll also as long as the 211 Check SlideShare account will be there, you will actually download the slides. So the slides, don't worry, you will get them. Thank you so much. Machol Joseph, you're welcome, please. And this should be the last person, and then we close. Machol Joseph. Machol Joseph. Okay. Machol Joseph? Okay. So Machol Joseph does not seem to be getting us. I hope that all of you have registered your attendance in the attendance sheet. Like I said, that is what we'll use to send you a data reimbursements next week. We wish you the very best of your Saturday, and take very, very good care of yourselves. We meet again next Saturday. We'll have a webinar where we'll discuss some of these fact-checking challenges